My name is Elizabeth. I am 70 years old now. All my life, driving was my favorite thing. From the day I got my license at 16, the open road felt like pure freedom. The wind blowing through my hair, my favorite songs on the radio, the feeling that I could go anywhere I wanted. I loved every moment of it. I grew up in a quiet small town where everybody knew each other. My father taught me how to drive in his old green pickup truck. He was very patient, even when I made mistakes and stalled the engine many times. "Don't worry, Lizzie," he would say with a smile. "Just take your time. The road will wait for you." When I finally passed my driving test, I was so happy. After that, I drove everywhere, to school, to my part-time job at the local library, to meet friends in nearby towns. Driving made me feel strong, independent, and alive. When I was 23, I married James. We bought a bright blue car together shortly after our wedding. On weekends, we loved taking long drives with no real destination. Just the two of us, a basket full of sandwiches and fruit, and the open highway. We drove to the ocean to watch the waves, up into the hills to see the changing leaves in autumn, or to peaceful lakes where we could sit quietly and talk about our dreams. James always said, "Elizabeth, you handle the wheel better than anyone I know." Those road trips were some of the happiest memories we made together. We had 3 children, 2 daughters and 1 son. I was the family driver for years. Every morning, I took the kids to school. After school, I drove them to dance classes, baseball practice, music lessons, or the doctor's office when someone caught a cold. On stormy days, I loved waiting in the car park and seeing their little faces light up when they spotted me. "Mom's here!" they would shout as they ran through the rain with their backpacks bouncing. Our car was always filled with children's laughter, spilled snacks, homework stories, and singing along to kids' songs on the radio. Even after the children grew up, got married, and moved to their own homes, I continued driving. James passed away 12 years ago from a sudden heart attack, and the house sometimes felt too empty and silent without him. To fill that quiet, I would get into my white car, the one I bought after our old blue one, finally gave up and simply drive. I visited my best friend Sarah, who lived 2 hours away, went to the weekend market for fresh flowers and vegetables, or took longer trips to see my 7 grandchildren. Driving helped me feel connected to James. I played our favorite old love songs and talked to him out loud, imagining he was sitting in the passenger seat smiling at me. My car was more than just transportation. It was my trusted friend. I knew every small noise it made, every button and switch on the dashboard. I kept it spotless inside and out, took it for regular service checks, and even named it Snowflake because of its beautiful white color. But slowly, over the last few years, things began to change. First, I noticed my eyesight wasn't as good, especially at night. Oncoming headlights seemed too bright and dazzling, and street signs became blurry in the dark. So I made a rule for myself: no driving after sunset. That's okay, I thought. There are plenty of hours in the day. Next, my knees and hands started to ache more. Arthritis arrived without warning, making my fingers stiff and sore, especially in cold weather. Holding the steering wheel tightly for a long time caused pain in my wrists. I bought soft steering wheel covers and special gloves, but it still wasn't comfortable like before. My children noticed the changes too. My eldest daughter, Emily, began suggesting, "Mom, why don't you let me drive when we go shopping together?" At first, I brushed it off with a laugh. "I'm still perfectly capable, dear," I would reply. But deep down, a small worry started growing in my heart. Then came that one ordinary Tuesday morning in spring. I had just turned 70 and I woke up feeling cheerful. The sun was bright, flowers were blooming along the street, and I decided to drive to the grocery store for some milk and bread. It was a short trip, only 12 minutes each way, on roads I knew like the back of my hand. I reversed out of my driveway carefully, checked both ways, and pulled onto the quiet neighborhood street. Everything felt normal and familiar. I turned on the radio to an oldies station and smiled as a song from my younger days started playing. A few minutes later, I noticed blue and red lights flashing in my rearview mirror. A police car was behind me, signaling me to stop. My stomach tightened with surprise. In more than 50 years of driving, I had never once been pulled over, not even for a small mistake. I carefully pulled to the side of the road, turned off the engine, and rolled down my window. My hands trembled slightly on the wheel. The police officer who approached was young, probably in his late 20s, and he looked polite and calm. "Good morning, ma'am," he said. "License and registration, please. Do you know why I stopped you today?" I shook my head, feeling confused and a little embarrassed. "No, officer." "Did I go too fast?" He paused for a second and looked at me kindly. "Actually, you were driving quite slowly, about 18 miles per hour in a 40-mile-per-hour zone, and your car was drifting a little from side to side across the lane markings. I was concerned that you might not be feeling well, or that something was wrong." My cheeks burned with shame. "I'm so sorry. I truly didn't realize I was going that slow." The officer asked me to step out of the car for a few simple tests, walking in a straight line, touching my nose with my finger, and reading some letters on a card. I did everything he asked, but my balance wasn't perfect because of my sore knees, and my eyes took longer to focus on the small print. After the tests, he spoke gently. "Ma'am, I don't think you've been drinking or anything like that, but these results and your driving today suggest that it might be time to think about your safety on the road. At your age, reflexes and vision can change without us noticing much. I'm going to have to issue you a warning and recommend a retesting of your license at the DMV. For everyone's safety, including yours, I strongly suggest you speak with your doctor and consider whether continuing to drive is the best choice right now." I felt tears coming to my eyes, but I held them back. "Yes, officer. I understand." He helped me back into my car and waited until I drove the short remaining distance home, very slowly and carefully. When I parked in my driveway, I sat in the silent car for a long time. Snowflake, my faithful friend for so many years, suddenly felt different. The keys in my hand felt heavy, like they carried the weight of all my memories, and now the end of an era. That evening, I called Emily and told her what happened. She came over immediately with her husband and my youngest granddaughter. We sat in the living room, and I cried for the first time in years. "I can't drive anymore," I whispered. "A big part of me feels gone." Emily hugged me tightly. "Mom, it's okay. This doesn't mean you're losing your independence. It means we're going to help you keep it in new ways. I'll drive you wherever you need to go. We can go on those weekend trips together, just like you and Dad used to do. And there are community buses, ride services, and so many options now." Over the next weeks, my doctor confirmed that my eyesight and reaction time had declined more than I realized. The DMV required a full retest, which I failed because of the vision part. My license was suspended for medical reasons. At first, it was very hard. I missed the simple joy of deciding to go somewhere and just going. I missed the quiet thinking time behind the wheel. I missed feeling in complete control. But slowly, with my family's help, I adjusted. My son installed a ride-sharing app on my phone and taught me how to use it. My grandchildren loved coming over to chauffeur Grandma, to the park or ice cream shop. Emily and I started taking those weekend drives again, she driving, me navigating and choosing the music. We laughed more than ever, sharing stories about James and the old days. I sold Snowflake to a young family who needed a reliable first car. It was sad to watch it leave my driveway, but I knew it would create new happy memories for someone else. Now at 71, I look back and realize that giving up driving wasn't the end of my freedom, it was just a new chapter. I still go everywhere I want to go. I still feel the wind in my hair when the car window is down. And most importantly, I have more time than ever with the people I love. Life changes, whether we want it to or not. But love, family, and new adventures, they stay with us on every road we travel.